Bow down before my psycho power.
The craziest thing about Tekken 8 is how arrogant it made the players. Tekken 8 made players very arrogant because it just handed out ranks. You get this rank, you get this rank, you get that rank. They just gave people the highest ranks without any effort. The players who are playing Tekken 8 for the first time, or the players who are playing, maybe Tekken 7 was their first game, now they're playing Tekken 8. Basically, what I'm saying is like the new-ish players who don't really know how difficult the past Tekkens were, they have this inflated ego. Since they have this high rank, and sometimes it's even the same rank as a pro or a content creator, then they feel like, oh, I am just as good as you, if not better. You will have someone who is carried by Tekken 8 be the same rank as you, and then they will tell you that you're only the same rank as them because the character you play. This is how wild Tekken 8 is. This is why like inflating the ranks is kind of a bad thing, because not only does it make the ranks worthless, but what we see from the player base is that they're becoming very arrogant, very toxic, and you kind of can't tell them anything. It's like too big for their britches, A lot of them be so wrong, bro, and when you try to explain to them why they're wrong, and you try to tell them this and that, they won't listen because their rank is so high. And I'm not even saying they, as in like, I probably would have did the same thing, bro. Before I hit Emperor, right, in Tekken 7, if you would have stopped me at like orange rank and red rank, and then you would have made the rank system really cheap, I probably would be speaking the same way those guys are. And this is what I'm saying, is that like, it's not that those guys are being insidious or anything like that. It's more so from a point of not knowing. They don't know, one, how difficult past Tekkens were, and since they don't know how difficult past Tekkens were, they think what they have, what they obtained, is the pinnacle of skill. But then the thing about this game is that it doesn't let you demonstrate the pinnacle of skill. It's not going to change unless the developers really want to overhaul the way that ranks are being done. Something that I wanted to talk about in this stream, and we'll go ahead and talk about right now, is rank resets. On Twitter, I asked, should they reset ranks in Tekken 8 Season 3? I personally would say yes. Before we look at any of the things that players are saying, I would say yes. And the reason why I would say yes is because the argument is that Season 2 is horribly unbalanced and every character is broken. Then in Season 3, if they restore order to the chaos, then the ranks that you achieved in said chaos should be disqualified. Let's look at the comments. This one has a lot of likes. Someone said no, they should remove GOD 1 through 8 and add those ranks in between Bushin and Tekken King. Then have 2 ranks above God or Destruction. Something you have to talk about as well is why the ranks are being inflated. The developers want people to climb really high in the rank charts. That's why it's doable. That's why it's feasible. That's why there's huge win bonuses. If you really wanted to kill this inflation, then kill the inflation. Take away the win bonuses. Take away the uneven point distribution. 83 likes on this one. Not gonna lie, constant rank resets just become annoying when the rank system itself is still trash and it takes 2 years to find a match. I want to do a comparison here. If we go all the way back to the start of Tekken 8, this is like 3-4 months into Tekken 8. A lot of people are trapped in the red ranks to beginner, but then you see this fall off once you get past red ranks. And this is how it looked in Tekken 7. Kinda. To get past red rank, purple rank, blue rank, and then hit this side here, you had to demonstrate so much. And this is why most people in the Tekken 7 era said that real Tekken starts in blue rank. Because look at what the blue ranks were like early on. Blue ranks had some like intensity to it. And this is Season 1 we're talking about, right? So now if we skip towards the end of Season 1. End of Season 1. This is when the developers made some adjustments to the rank system. I think they changed Tekken Pro's matchmaking. They changed a couple of subtle things. And you can see as a result of that, the inflation of that game started to take hold. Now, I was Supreme rank in Season 1. Only 0.65% of players were able to do that. Only 0.2% of players were able to get God of Destruction in Season 1. So those 2 top ranks were serious business in Tekken 8 Season 1. Now in Season 2, rank reset hits, everyone goes back like 5 ranks. Now a lot of people, like we just read that one comment, lost motivation here. I understand that sense of loss, but like I said, if you're making wild overhauling changes to the games, I think it's low-key kind of necessary. You can't let someone abuse Anna, get God 1, nerf Anna in season 3, and then they retain that God 1. In my opinion, I don't think so. And if you agree with that, then that same thing should be applied to every character, not just Anna. Now, if we skip halfway through season 2, you can see that the problem immediately becomes significantly worse than season 1. We saw in season 1 that red ranks was the gatekeeping point until the very end where things got out of hand. In season 2, even though they reset the ranks, immediately the floodgates break open and blue ranks is like complete chaos. And even so, to where you see Tekken King started to fall victim. Now, if we go ahead to where we're at, this is where we're at right now. Everyone is now sitting in high purple, low Tekken King. And once again, when you talk about that arrogance, the conversations are getting very toxic. There's a lot of people who have no clue what they're talking about. And sometimes I even do that. But I try to, like, when someone's trying to educate me, I try to shut up and listen. Because I understand that I don't know everything. But there's a lot of people who do think they know everything because they are Tekken King. They are supreme. Remember how I was saying at the start of season 2? That there was only 0.65% and 0.28% in Supreme and GOD. Look now, 1.40%, 1.28%. This is why you have to ask the question of, even if they do a rank reset, would it matter? They reset the ranks in season 1 and the problem only got worse. If they reset the ranks in season 3, what do we think the outcome will be? Someone says, to me, this shows a lack of consideration for the players. People sacrifice so much dealing with spammers, trolls to reach a specific rank, only to have it reset at the end. Someone said, had it not been certain Tekken players crying about most people getting God in season 1, we wouldn't have an issue where nobody can reach the highest rank in season 2. I hate Tekken Twitter so much. The top player is God 5. No one has reached God Infinite. So when you talk about the game being reset, you do have to consider that as well as, like, if no one reached the top ranks, should they reset it yet? It's not as bad as what these guys say. You are ghastly overestimating the ranks. No, I disagree, bro. At the end of Tekken 7 is when I reached Emperor, which means that I was like actively battling in blue ranks every day. And I could tell you for a fact that I could pull a blue rank Fujin player and they would smoke a Tekken King in this game. And I'm low-key proof of it. At the end of Tekken 7, I was Emperor. And if that game carried on, I probably would have been demoted and had to fight back and forth. But you take a Emperor from Tekken 7 and put them in Tekken 8 and they're God. Emperor is only 4 ranks away from Fujin. If you take a Fujin from Tekken 7 and put them in Tekken 8, then they're probably Tekken Emperor because that's 4 ranks away from God. So I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison like you say it is. Blue ranks in Tekken 7 definitely had more skills than Tekken 8. How can you say that Tekken 7 blue ranks are the same for Tekken 8 Season 2 when Season 1 isn't even the same? This might sound stupid and crazy, but if we're able to believe a revamp on Balance Season 3 and rank overhaul, why not reset the ranks and prowess to 0? Well, that's the thing is, like, I do think if you destroy every character, then you should reset the ranks as well. Give everyone their trophies for achieving the ranks that they achieved in Season 2, but don't allow those ranks to persist into Season 3. Because, you know, there's a lot of cope right now, right? Some people think nothing will change in season 3. Some people think that everything will change in season 3. If you're one of those players who think that Heat is going to be fundamentally overhauled, and if you think a fundamental change for the game is coming, then a rank reset is 100% necessary. That's fair, bro. I just meant that you definitely have a talent. You saying that you were blue rank in season 1, I would say you too. You had this ability that most Tekken players couldn't achieve, and then the developer said, let's just give those guys that rank. And then they broke the system. This is where the poll that I hosted came into play. Should they reset the ranks in season 1? 9,000 votes, 75% says yes. I honestly wasn't expecting this many people to say yes. When I asked a question on Twitter, most people were saying no. And they were talking about how hard they worked, how much they sacrificed. So seeing the results be this way was shocking. Let's see what the people are saying. Not gonna lie, I'm fine with it. It gives me reason to grind ranks again. Okay, so that person is looking at the rank grind again as a good thing, where other people were looking at it as a bad thing. Rather not have the devs forcefully demote me again. If someone cheats their way to a high rank and then they bounce the character, they won't hold on to that rank for long. Well, that's actually not true. You know what happened in Tekken 7 Season 3, where they put Launch Leroy and Launch Falcaram in the game, which were arguably some of the most broken characters to touch Tekken 7. For Fakaram, he was so broken to where he was banned in Pakistan. In Korea and Japan, all they did was Fakaram mirror matches and grand finals the whole entire pandemic. On the online side of things, people were playing Fakaram, Leroy, and they were achieving some of the highest ranks possible. And then those characters got nerfed. People just quit those characters. So now you still have this God of Destruction or whatever the top rank was, Leroy and Fakaram, but now you're just playing your second character. And that's what people would do in Tekken 8. And if those characters got nerfed and the ranks weren't reset, they would just go back to whatever either their old character was or whatever the new meta is, and they will still retain that high rank. So that's kind of why I disagree with that person who said that they will lose their rank eventually. No.